Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have from Hot Toys from the Batman Arkham game series, the Arkham Knight / Red Hood figure. So I was very excited to get this figure. I was very excited about this Arkham line in general. I really do enjoy the Arkham games. I've only played one of them personally myself, but I've always really loved the walkthroughs and the character designs and the stories from all of the games in general. And yeah, I really like the Arkham games and the character designs that they've produced very much so. I love collecting the figures from DC Collectibles, and now Hot Toys has started to produce a few of their own figures, quite surprisingly. Definitely something I wasn't expecting, but was extremely pleased to see that they were doing. They have released 3 figures: Batman, the Arkham Knight, as you see here, and Joker. I have Batman already, I have the Arkham Knight, as you can see, and Joker's on pre-order. He should be coming within a couple weeks, I think, which is incredibly exciting. I hope they don't stop the line here. I would love to see a Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, and certainly many others. But as you can see, do have the Arkham Knight figure here. Very excited to have it. Can't wait to get the rest of the assortment and complete the display. But now let's go over the Arkham Knight. But before we go over the actual figure, let's talk about his accessories. You get a total of 9 hands, 2 fists, 2 relaxed palms, 2 hands for holding like the barrel of the weapon, the longer rifle, 2 hands for holding any of the weapons, you know, with trigger fingers, and then 1 right hand that kind of has 2 fingers forward, mainly kind of like a signaling hand, very militaristic type of hand style. Overall, I do like the array of hands that he comes with. Sometimes, you know, I can always say, you know, oh, I'd like to see this hand and this hand, but with this one, I really don't have many things I would like, because he really comes with all that I could want. I mean, a saluting hand kind of fits with militaristic figures, but I don't think that he ever like salutes or anything. So overall, I do think that you get exactly what you need with this figure as far as the hand selection is concerned. He does come with a nice supply of firearms. As you can see, you do have the 2 kind of medium-sized handguns. Those are very much for the Red Hood. Those are his weapons of choice. Those are probably my favorites, actually. I do like them a lot because they're large enough where they look very intimidating, and I like that he can hold them in 2 hands, and you can pose him a little bit easier with those. The single handgun that's more for the Arkham Knight is really small. Like, it's just too small. It doesn't look that good. The longer rifle does look very nice, but you do have to pose him like holding it in 2 hands for the most part. To have him looking like really good with it, and that can be, you know, it worries me about the costume leaving wrinkles and things like that, but he can still achieve it. Like, he's actually really well posable, surprisingly, which I'll touch on again. But overall, I do like this array of weapons. He does come with a few grenades, all of which are on pouches on his actual suit, so we'll cover them when we talk about the actual costume. So it comes with a standard rectangular base. I do like this base design. You do have the nameplate on the front there, and then the top section does have a nice photo of the Arkham Knight and the logo, as well as a landscape of Gotham, which is very cool. One thing I would have liked, though, was an interchangeable top section for this, so you can have it be the Red Hood, of course. Because if you have him standing on the space as Red Hood, the base color scheme is blue, and it doesn't match the red color scheme of Red Hood, so it would be very cool if you could swap out the top of the bases to customize it to fit, you know, whichever version of the figure that you have on display. You do get a backdrop piece with this Arkham Knight, which is the same as the other Arkham figures. Both Batman and the Joker will come with theirs as well. I do like the backdrop pieces that they're producing. I don't think many people use them. It's definitely, they don't fit in D12 cabinets, so I think that a lot of people just don't have the space for them. Personally, I do have the space for them in my larger cabinets, and I just really enjoy them. I just kind of like the backgrounds that they provide. It looks more like a really nice, you know, kind of a display of a figure, rather than just the figure himself. The backdrops, they're very cheap on their own. However, they kind of fill in the display and make it look like each piece is a little bit more special. So I do like them. As far as the Arkham Knight's backdrop, it's kind of this war zone of Gotham with, of course, the helicopter and the tank, you know, just about all the battles in Arkham Knight focused on like tanks and stuff like that. And of course, that was all the Arkham Knight's doing, because he's a very militaristic character. So at first I didn't like that backdrop, the design of the backdrop at least, but actually getting it in person, he looks pretty good with it. It actually does fit him, and it does fit with the Batman backdrop too, which I wasn't expecting, so I am quite happy with that. Alright, so on to the figure here. This is his Arkham Knight look. I will show you the Red Hood look as well, though. But the Arkham Knight look I do think looks great. I do like the head sculpt quite a bit. He's got this wonderful blue faceplate, which is kind of, it changes based on the color that's being, or the light that's being shined on him. It can get pretty dark. It is slightly lighter than his armor, though, no matter what, but it does have more of a glossy look to it, and it has a bit of like a translucent lens on top of it. And on that translucent lens, you do have all those like little markings and everything, almost looking like he has like data coming up on the screen, which is very cool. I like it a lot. The helmet does light up. I can show you how to do that. One thing that's very nice is how easy it is to light up the helmet. What's great is you don't have to pop off the entire head. A lot of figures you have to pop off the entire thing, which I hate. This is wonderful. You just pop the top of it off, which is very easy to pop off, switch it on, and then you can just close it right back up. Easy peasy. It's no hassle whatsoever. Even with light, you can still definitely see the eyes, but here with lower light, those eyes just illuminate in such an evil look. It looks very cool. I like it a lot. Even there's still a lot of light being shined on them, and you can see them very nicely. And when you take out like all the light, that just looks awesome. So I absolutely love the light up function. I think that it works very well. So let's go over the rest of the suit. As we move down on the suit, as you can see, the undersuit is kind of this faux leather look. You can definitely see it like right here. It does have like this faux leather look. He has great articulation. I'll go over the articulation in the next section after I talk about the Red Hood pieces. But he does have great articulation. But there can be a little bit of wrinkles there due to the fact that it's kind of like a faux leather. But it's very manipulable. You can definitely pose it quite nicely. The vest that he has on is kind of like a rubber, and then the armor pieces are all plastic. And they do definitely look great. He does have a lot of pouches. These grenades are removable. The grenade on this pocket is removable as well. You will need to put those in when you get them out of package. He has armor at the legs, which look great. And yeah, overall, he looks tremendous. I absolutely love the design of this. I think the proportions look excellent. I like the bulky lower arms, and then the waist that does slim down towards the waist, then the torso that slims down towards the waist. I think it looks excellent. I think it's very well proportioned. And overall, I like the costume a lot, and the costume doesn't inhibit articulation, which I will touch on again. But yeah, loving this look. I think it looks tremendous. You do have, of course, interchangeable parts to turn him into the Red Hood. So let's do that now and go over his look as the Red Hood. Okay, so now to go over the Red Hood kind of designer version of this figure that you can create. He comes with an interchangeable head and then several interchangeable armor pieces, just small little pieces that go here and there on the suit to completely change up the character, because obviously in the film or in the game, the Arkham Knight turns out to be Jason Todd, who's of course the Red Hood in the comics, and he does don the Red Hood costume in the game towards the end there. So you can do that. One thing that's kind of disappointing is that the Red Hood kind of has a jacket, so it would be cool if you could like put on his jacket and things like that in the hoodie. However, you can't do it with this. But he does, there is a scene, if I'm not mistaken, the main storyline, the scene where he is the Red Hood, he isn't wearing the jacket, and it's in the side quest that he wears the jacket. So this is still accurate, but it would have been cooler had you been able to get that hood with him and put that on him. That would be very cool. So overall, you just get red armor pieces. The pieces that are interchangeable are these two knee pads right here. These two pieces on the respective arms, the whole bicep section, not just the red piece, the whole bicep section, and then this little this little under piece to the shoulder pad, the red section, the two chest plates, and then of course the head is completely new. So that is nice. You know, it's not a ton of extra stuff if you think about it. They're just a couple little small panels, but they make all the difference. I mean, they completely like transform the figure, which is really cool. That's going to help this figure stay fresh. And also, what's very nice and something that I was concerned about was how difficult it would be to interchange these parts. Not difficult, very easy to do so, which is great, and something that I wasn't expecting. You know, like the Red Skull figure is such a pain to put on his jacket and things like that, but with this one, very easy to transform him, which is great. As far as the head sculpt's concerned, I really do like it a lot. I love the sheen there. It has a wonderful shade of red that actually that depending on how the light's hitting it, there's sections of his helmet that kind of almost look black because of the way that the light hits it, which is super cool. I absolutely love that. I do like the kind of targeting system that you have there at the front, and then yeah, there's just some silver paneling throughout it, which does look very cool. The armor pieces on the Red Hood sections are a lot dirty, a lot more dirty than the Arkham Knight one. I think that they're going for more of a realistic tone with the Red Hood, and that's why he has like his red pieces are very dirty and things like that, while the Arkham Knight one is very pristine and shiny to kind of show his militaristic and you know, kind of pristine background. So I do think that that's kind of interesting. But yeah, overall, I think that it does completely transform the figure, and I do like the paneling, the red paneling on the Red Hood a little bit better than than the Arkham Knight, simply because the color scheme matches, like, because obviously the little camo details are all red on the suit, regardless of which one you have him as, so the red just ties in a lot better as the red hood, because his armor pieces match the actual costume, while as the Arkham Knight, the armor pieces don't match the actual costume. He's got a mixture of red and blue, while this one just has red throughout, which, so overall I do like the red color scheme a lot better, but personally I am just more of an, a villain fan, so I do plan to display him as the Arkham Knight, but I think that the Red Hood one looks excellent. So as far as articulation is concerned, he is really great. I'm actually incredibly impressed with his articulation. As far as his head, he can go down about this far. He can tilt even while he's down. He can look side to the side and be tilted. I love the articulation. It's excellent. You can also get him to look up quite far as well. It's just excellent. What's nice is, like, you know, sometimes they can look over, but then they have the, like, weird tilts. You can get them to look over and be, like, really straight, too. Like, that just looks awesome. So I absolutely love the head articulation. Not really hindered there, which is great. The arms, very well articulated. The shoulder pads are on ball joints, and they're also on a rubber piece, so they don't really inhibit articulation at all. Bicep swivels completely. The elbow, as you can see, you get, like, almost a complete bend there. Like, that's insane for a figure that has armor and has, like, a faux leather thing underneath. That's tremendous. Again, they can leave some wrinkles. However, he's not the type of character that needs to have a really pristine suit. Like, I feel like Superman, Vision, like, those types of characters, I don't want to see wrinkles in their suit because they're just wearing a skin-tight suit. But with him, he's an armor, kind of militaristic, kind of has some more baggier pants. He can totally have wrinkles. So I don't mind the wrinkles as much in the slightest for him, which is quite nice. Then he has full range at the wrist. The armor pieces can move up very far, so you can totally pose his wrist wherever you want, and then just slide down the armor so that so that it fills in that gap there. So his wrist has great articulation. As far as his torso, you can't really do much forward and back. That's where it's restricted. You can go side to side though, and he does have a bit of a side. Out of all the areas on him, the waist, torso is definitely the most restricted. However, he still does have some posability. As far as the thighs, he can kick out very far, as you can see. I'm very impressed with that. Like, that's pretty solid for this type of figure. It's a little more restricted on this side simply because you do have the straps and everything, so it's a little more restricted, but you can still get some good articulation. Then he can go, like, almost a full, you know, back kick on the legs, which is excellent as well. And then the ankles are on a double ball joint there, so they can go forward and up and side to side. They can, of course, pivot. He has excellent articulation when it comes to the ankles. So overall, he's he's fantastic when it comes to his articulation. Like, it legitimately is one of the best articulated figures for this type of suit, because I was not expecting much articulation with him. I have to say, I was expecting, like, really limited with Batman, and a little bit better, but still very limited with the Arkham Knight. Batman turned out to be better articulated than I expected, and the Arkham Knight turned out to be even much more articulated than I expected. So overall, I think it's very solid. Like, they're really hitting their mark when it comes to articulation on these figures. They've really been able to figure out, you know, what to do to get them to be articulated and still look great. And with a figure like this, like, he can have creases, you know, like Batman, I don't want to see too many creases on Batman, and Batman has some rubber, so he leaves creases. But with the Arkham Knight leaves less creases, and the creases that he does leave are not a big deal, because, like, he can totally have creases on his suit due to his character design. So overall, I love the articulation, couldn't be any happier about that. And here's a comparison with the Arkham Knight with the Arkham Knight Batman. As you can see, the two of them look very cool together. Of course, they stick with a very similar design, even to the fact that the Arkham Knight has, you know, glossy effect pieces on his armor, which does match the glossy effect pieces of the Batman armor too, which is very cool. They just look tremendous together. I'm a big fan of this line in general, and I cannot wait to see their Joker. And again, cannot wait to hopefully see some more figures in the future. It's been a long time since they put one on pre-order though, so I'm not holding out hope. But even if we just get these three, you know, these two plus Joker, I will be quite happy, because I very much enjoyed these two, and something tells me I'm going to enjoy Joker just as much. So overall, really loving this figure. I think it's fantastic. Character-wise, out of all of the Arkham characters, he's not one that I, like, really love. I like him, and he is a villain, so I enjoy villains. I prefer some, like, more classic Batman villains, though this one was created specifically for the game. However, you find out that he is actually a character in Batman lore, of course, being Jason Todd. However, I do love the figure itself. I think it's a fantastic figure. It looks tremendous. It's completely accurate to the film, and he has has fantastic articulation, much more than you'd expect. I love the fact that you can, turn him into the Red Hood. That's something that, wasn't 100% necessary. Like, had they not included all those pieces to turn him into Red Hood, nobody would be complaining. But they do include it, which is just wonderful. So I'm very happy about this. I'm a big fan of the Arkham game, and I love these new figures so far. Cannot wait to get Joker like I've expressed, and again, can't wait to see some more figures in this line. I think it's done, but I would love for them to continue it. Again, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze, those would be amazing. So I would certainly love to see this line continue. Let me know what you guys think of this figure and what other figures you'd like to see in the Arkham line, and thanks so much for watching.